Hello, St. Andrews, and welcome to this week's edition of Chancel Chats. It's a rainy, dreary, drizzly Wednesday, November 9th. And if I look a little bleary-eyed, it's because I stayed up much too late last night watching the election returns. But I would like to begin this morning by just making a couple of comments about the election. It was a historic and a surprising outcome. And to those of you who supported Mr. Trump and his candidacy, congratulations. I think he did a marvelous job of connecting with a group of people in this country, a surprisingly large group of people who probably for many years have felt neglected and disenfranchised by the two major political parties. And Mr. Trump was able to leverage that into a historic victory, and he should be congratulated. And he deserves our support and our prayers as our president-elect. He will be the 45th president of the United States. And to those of you who are disappointed by the result, and I would include myself in that category, allow yourself the opportunity and the space over the next several days or maybe even weeks to give expression to that disappointment. It's genuine, and we need to acknowledge that and own that. But we also need to remember that as Christians, our ultimate hope and trust is not in our politicians or our political institutions, but in the God who created heaven and earth. And we need to remember that in the midst of our disappointment, that ultimately God's will and purpose will be done here on earth as it is in heaven. So we can relax and rest in that faith and that trust that ultimately God's purposes will come to fruition in maybe not in our lifetime, but ultimately that is what will happen. So, but he is our president, and beginning this weekend, we will pray for Donald Trump, and as our president-elect, we'll pray that God will grant him the wisdom and the courage to govern effectively and on behalf of all the people of this country. And we will support him when his policies and programs are in harmony with our Christian values and virtues, and we will challenge him when they're not. But he is our president, and as I said, he deserves our support, our respect, and our prayers, and we will certainly do that. So, looking ahead to this weekend, we've been talking for several weeks now about our fall mini stewardship campaign, which will be observed at all three services this weekend on Saturday evening and Sunday morning at 8 and 10 a.m. And we're asking all of our members of our parish who have not already made a pledge of support for 2017 to consider doing that this weekend. We're also asking people to consider electronic giving. And last weekend we had brief temple talks at each of the three services from members of the parish who have signed up for e-giving through the Simply Giving program by Vanco Financial Services. So if you are considering that, if you have any questions, please contact me or Chris Carroll in the parish office, and we'll be happy to respond to those. So we'll have the official in-gathering at all three of our services this weekend. The day after tomorrow, Friday, November 11th, is Veterans Day, and we'll be observing Veterans Day at all the services this weekend with special prayers. And at the 10 o'clock service on Sunday, there'll be a special procession with the flags of the various branches of the military. So we'll continue to keep in our thoughts and prayers our veterans and thanking them for their service to this country over the years. Looking ahead to next week, Monday evening, the 14th of November, is our monthly vestry meeting at 7 o'clock in the parish office, and certainly all of our vestry meetings are open, and you're encouraged to participate. The last week in the Chancel Chat, I mentioned the possibility that this coming week we would be beginning the repairs on the church tower. Well, that didn't happen, but it will happen, I've been told, beginning Monday morning, this coming Monday. So expect some disruption in the flow of traffic around the church as There will be a crane that will be installed somewhere in the front of the church to do the repairs on the tower. So don't be surprised when you see that and experience some change in the flow of traffic around the church this next week. The good news is the work should be finished by the end of the week, so just be aware of that. And then looking ahead to next weekend, on Saturday, the 19th of November, first of all, the monthly men's fellowship breakfast at the Route 38 Diner at 7:30 a.m. That evening at 6 o'clock, our confirmation class will meet for their November meeting. It will begin at 6 o'clock with a pizza supper, and the class will be finished by 7:30. And then looking even further ahead, our traditional Thanksgiving morning Eucharist will be here at the church at 9 a.m. on Thursday, November 24th. And then someone made a really wonderful suggestion that we hold a Eucharistic celebration on the Feast of St. Andrew, our patron saint here at St. Andrew's Church. The Feast of St. Andrews is always celebrated on the 30th of November. It's the first feast, really, of the new church year. And so we're going to have a Eucharistic celebration at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, November 30th, at the Dobbins Chapel. We've been thinking about and talking about ways that we can use that beautiful worship space more frequently than just the 3 times each year, Memorial Day, Independence Day, and All Saints Day. And so we're going to try scheduling a celebration Eucharist on the Feast of St. Andrew at Dobbins Chapel at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, November 30th. So please mark your calendar, and if you've never been to Dobbins Chapel, consider joining us there for the celebration of the Feast of St. Andrew. So that's about all I have for today. Wishing you the best as we move into the weekend, and we'll talk again next week. God bless you.